So in this project, I thought we'd try something that's very, very simple, but that you might not have thought to try before. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do all of the layering up of my card and then stick the transfer over the top. So you get this sort of effect here, which I think looks really stunning, where you've got the foil transfer running over the plain card, the patterned card, and even onto your base card. So it's super simple to do, but again, it's just giving you all these ideas. That's what we're here for, okay? So, very simply, I've started off with one of the base cards just as exactly as it comes in the kit. And then using some of the patterned cardstock, I've just taken something nice and bright and bold. Now, it's up to you here. I'm quite happy to use this amount of cardstock, and I'm going to stick the white over the front so we're left with a bit of a border. If you didn't want to use that much of your patterned paper, you could always just cut a couple of smaller strips, because essentially everything that's been left in between is just going to waste here, right? So it's completely up to you whether you're choosing to go for the quick option or whether you're wanting to preserve the life of your cardstock a little bit more. Now notice I'm doing all of my sticking here with the tape pen, and that's just because it's going to make my life a little bit easier if I've got a solid stick as opposed to having some wet glue underneath when I'm coming to manoeuvre into place all of those transfers. So couple of layers of the tape, and make sure you always put plenty of the tape on. It's a very, very strong glue, but it doesn't mean you should use it sparingly, okay? So there's my base, and then just to make sure that's absolutely perfect, I'm just going to cut down the edge there just to get that perfectly lined up. Wonderful. So I'm going to start just by taking my transfer. Now again, when you look in the kit, I take out the foiled versions of the transfers. You've got some foiled ones and some regular transfers in there too. But you'll see all of these, every sheet, what we've done is, if it's a gold foil sheet, we've done it in the gold, so we've done it on the gold background so that it reminds you that we're working with gold, but then we've printed the design in the black just so it's easier for you to see. Okay, so again what I've done is, I've used this sheet here, lovely collection of designs, and what we've tried to do is we've tried to theme the design. So if you're not sure what goes with what, if you take designs which are all on the same page, they've all been designed to work together. Now it doesn't mean to say you can't mix and match, but if you're just looking for a bit of direction right out the box, if you stick with things on the same page, we've designed all of those so that we know they're going to work together for you. So in this case, I've taken the spray flowers and some of the little corner edges as well, and then just taken one of my own, one of the sentiments, but from one of the other sheets. So here's that lovely spray of flowers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it across multiple layers, so you can see as we position it down, I can see exactly where that's going to line up on the card. Now, just as you've seen me do with the other transfers, once you've cut that out, all you need to do is carefully lift off the backing there. So can you see it's got that protective film on the back, and that's just to stop you accidentally touching all of that lovely transfer. This is the side that's got the adhesive on, so I'm being very careful not to touch that, and then we're going to line that up perfectly over our card here, over the multiple layers, and then you can come in with your popsicle stick and just give it a bit of a rub. Now, it doesn't need an awful lot of pressure. You know, these, you might have worked with transfers in the past, you might have worked with our transfers where you're transferring the adhesive and then sticking the foil on separate. These are the easiest transfers I've found to work with, because you are literally just having to give them a small rub over. Now, just making sure I've got that stuck. So where I've got the steps down, can you see I'm just taking extra effort to rub over each one of those steps in the cardstock, just to make sure we've got that all stuck down. And then I can start just with a bit of a peel at the edge. See how it's coming up? I'm happy. I can just see that lifting there a little bit over the step. So again, I'm just going to go in, give it another bit of a rub, make sure over those steps I've got the transfers really well stuck down. And then we can keep peeling again. Yes, I'm very happy with how that's transferred. Come across beautifully there. So that's how you would put a transfer over multiple layers of your cardstock. Now it's just the same, remember, if I want to do my Adventures Are Forever, all I'm going to do is, again, I've got a bit of the patterned cardstock which is going to mount onto the base cardstock. So I'm going to layer them up together. This time just leaving a border all the way around, because this is just my sentiment panel. Peeling off that backing ever so carefully, and then positioning this in place. And it's nice because it's a nice clean craft, this one. You're not getting mess everywhere. We don't have loads of bits and pieces. Everything you need is in that box for you to be able to go away. Whether you're just going away and doing, you know, a handful of cards to get you started, or whether it's a new technique that you've not tried before, hopefully this is a great way to get you going with trying transfers. And you saw just how easy that was. They're really simple to work with. So, a couple of other bits and pieces. I'm going to do the same again. I've taken a couple of these dotty bits and I just want them to come over in the background. If I show you the one that I've done, and you see we've just got these dots, again giving you a little bit of a hint over the background panel. So I'm just going to position those on in exactly the same way. And then that gives me the lovely background to place on my adventures panel. And just like you've seen me do in the past, I'm just giving that a bit of shaping. It just makes your card feel a little bit more three-dimensional. Of course, then you need a three-dimensional envelope to put it in, but as long as you're happy with that. Can you see it's just giving me a little bit of movement there on the side. I think you can just about see that there. And again, when we're doing that, when we're trying to build a little bit of movement up there, you're going to need to pop that in place with your either some 3D foam pads, or as I'm using here, some 3D glue gel. And it just means that it won't, when it dries, it's going to dry absolutely, you know, three-dimensional. It's not going to flatten as you're going. And I think all these cards need to be lovely, beautifully finished off with just a little bit of ribbon. And of course, we're giving you all that in your kit, so you don't even need to go hunting through your stash to find the perfect little finishing piece. And that, again, just shows you how easy it is to achieve really effective, stunning cards. But that's what, a 3 or 4 minute make? Really beautiful card in just a few minutes.